everybody, and welcome back. Of course, I'm Lashawnda.
I'm the Mike.
And I know it's been a while. Okay.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
We don't want to hear it. We know. But we are here, okay?
Man, let me tell you something. We have been busy. We have been getting on the bus here lately. So.
Yeah. And we actually recorded this video before, and we scrapped it.
We had to.
The energy was just off in general, and we were just like, we're just gonna redo this when we feeling a little.
Yeah.
And we're definitely feeling a lot better today.
A lot better today.
So if you have read the title, we are going to be talking about 2023 goals that we have. We're going to recap really quickly 2022.
And we're going to have the word for the year.
Yes, and we're going to talk about the word for the year. And I feel like we might sprinkle in a little bit more of what we received today. But
we'll receive some stuff. I'm not gonna lie.
We'll see how it goes with the video and how long it is, because we're long-winded.
True.
Yeah, so you go first this time, because I think I went first on the other one.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with my word for 2023. And the word that I chose is growth. Now, the reason why I chose growth is because I'm not only trying to grow myself, I'm trying to grow what I have going on, what I have to give. I'm trying to grow my community. I'm trying to grow what God has called me to do. So growth is really big for me because there's a lot of self-developmental things that I'm working on, as far as, like pride and envy and stuff like that I need to work on, core issues and stuff like that I've been kind of molding and stuff like that. But I feel like growth would be really important for me because, like I said, I'm trying to reach more people. So that's the word that I chose for this coming year.
Okay, well, since we start with the word of the year, my word of the year is expand and outsource. So I realized throughout the years that I try to do it all on my own, and I try to wear all of the hats even when I technically don't have to or need to, and it causes me to stretch myself way too thin. Nothing really gets done properly or to its fullness, and I just constantly end up feeling burnt out, like I'm not doing enough, like things are falling through the cracks. And so going into this year, I want to learn to outsource, whether it is in business, whether I need to hire a VA or any type of person to my team to take off the load that I'm allowing myself to have, so that I can step into my zone of genius and really get what I need to do out. And then, or whether it's personal, like if I need someone to run some errands, or if I need to hire someone to just take certain things off the plate.
The thing is it's very hard to ask for help.
It is.
She is the world's worst. She doesn't like to ask for help or get to a point where she can say, hey, look, can you do this for me? So it is very hard for her. But lately, it's been hammered into us that it's okay to ask for help when whenever you need it. And so I'm really proud of you that you've at least acknowledged that and figured that out. Yeah. I like you and stuff.
I be trying. I mean, when I say outsource, and I'm like drop this on and move on, but when I say outsource too, I don't even mean always like paid either. Like, I feel like in a way I have started to outsource with you as well, because like he knows I hate grocery shopping. I do not like grocery shopping, and he obviously loved grocery shopping because he loved going to the grocery store.
I love to cook. I didn't get this size by not eating. I'm just saying.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let you do the grocery shopping, and then I'll put the food up, and we take turns cooking and stuff. But it's just like learning to ask for help, like what you said. When I need it, when I need a break from the kids, he doesn't even allow me to say I need a break from the kids. He can tell when I need a break, and he'll be like, hey, we're gonna have a boys' night, like go do your thing. So I love that. And then expanding is a part of my word, because when you outsource, you are able to now expand because you're operating in your zone of genius, and you are able to focus on the things that you are the best at.
Right.
So
absolutely.
That's why both of those are my words.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, so the next line of business that we're going to be discussing.
Next line of business. I'm sorry, it threw me off.
Anyhow, is the next 3 goals that we have for this year. But before we get into that, I want to do a recap of 2022.
Okay.
Because I feel like it would be more beneficial to tell you the reasons why we have goals for this coming year. So my recap for 2022 is it was a rough year and there was a lot of roadblocks. I was diagnosed with diabetes. There was a lot of things we ran into. I had some issues with some family members and stuff like that this past year, and
me too.
Some financial and some financial hurdles. However, and then of course jobs and stuff like that. The 9-to-5s and being taken away from the family was
7-8 days a week.
Yeah, was very rough.
That's a big reason why we haven't been able to record. His previous job.
Yeah, my schedule was like 7-8 days a week.
Yeah,
and we had to
it was just a lot.
We had to cut that in the bud.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that you have to realize is when you're trying to grow, it's very hard to stay with a company that doesn't give you the opportunity to do that. So we had to make the decision to cut that.
Yeah.
I don't want to just talk about the negative about 2022. Look at the good things that happened in 2022. So we started, becoming better with YouTube. I'm just not gotten into.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah. So we got into our own house by ourselves. So it's just me, her, and the kids. We've had the opportunity and the blessings to meet some really good people this year that have really had our backs whenever, we came into some financial hardships. And so there's a lot of beauty to be said for 2022 because although, we've had some of the negative things that happened, they were lessons. And they're lessons that we learned to bring into this next year. So I guess that's my recap for 2022. How about yourself?
I love that you said the YouTube thing because, like, when I created my list originally, I almost started to recreate my list after today because I felt like I might have needed to change a little things. But if it comes up, then I'll just speak it. But I love that you mentioned YouTube because we definitely have built a community, with showing up and being able to interact with you guys or whatever. And even though we don't be consistent all the time, it is a blessing to be able to have a platform to show up on and share our stories, share our experiences, our opinions, and have people that relate and understand and support us. So I love that. So for my 2022 recap, you kind of
tell us about it.
You kind of hit on some of the things that I had wrote down as well. Like we were able to move into a place by ourselves. That was such a big milestone for us because for one, with me, even when I had my apartment, like when me and you first met, I had been in that apartment for. See, I'm trying to remember how old my kids were when we moved out.
I want to say you said 9 years.
Yeah, we had been in there about 9 years or something like that. And, my mom had moved in with me here and there, to help me with the kids and stuff. And eventually it just felt like you were still in the nest. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's technically my apartment, I still felt like I was in the nest, And then when me and Michael got the house together, my mom was living with us at that time as well.
Whew.
And so that was a situation, okay? That was a situation. But it still felt like for me that I was kind of in a nest, because I was still attached in the house with a parent. And so for us to be able to move out, I'm moving out into my own place or to our own place with my spouse and my children. That was a really big step for me because for the first time, we have our own home. Like my kids have their own rooms now. They've never had their own room before now because in the apartment, they had their own room, but my mom kind of shared that with them. And then in the other house, they had their own room, but they had a room together. Now, they both have their own separate rooms. Yeah. So that was a huge milestone.
We have no problem sending them there.
We don't. We don't. So that was a huge milestone. Did you say all of yours already, or you just said one?
No, I said all mine for 2022.
You did? Okay.
Yeah. I just kind of did like a little recap. I didn't want it to be completely negative. After today, I sort of think about positive.
Right, yeah, because before it was kind of hard for us to come up with some positive 2022 recaps. Yeah. Okay. But anyways, my next one is, I feel that me and you overcame our relationship hurdles. And I don't know how to word what I'm trying to say, but I'm going to explain. So me and Michael have always had a healthy relationship. Like, this is the first healthy relationship I have ever been in. But when you get in a relationship and you have two people that are like, they're used to like chucking the deuces real quick, you know, we had some learning curves and some beginner battles that we had to deal with. We had to learn how to communicate with each other. We had to learn each other's ways. And it didn't help that we moved in with each other like really early on, if I'm being honest. So we kind of just threw ourselves in there like, hey, we either gonna make it or we ain't gonna make it, but we gonna find out. So when you're the first year of you living with someone, I feel it's just gonna come with those first year hurdles in general.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting used to one another, so you're getting used to their habits and what they got going on, and
right.
You know, of course, everybody has their pet peeves.
Yeah.
So you got to deal with that too, because what you may find funny may be very irritating to your spouse.
Right, and I think throughout 2022, we moved here in March or April or something like that. From March, we have been able to really learn about each other without a parent in the household, for one. And then also just learn about each other's ways and know that we're not out to get each other. Because I feel like in the other house, we still had baggage from other relationships. So we were kind of hesitant on certain things, you know, at the beginning stages. And now we have such a healthy, like, communication relationship, such a healthy relationship in general.
She had to, you know, it takes time to find out that I'm really awesome, man.
It
took her some time to get that. No, I'm just playing. But no,
okay.
No, in all honesty, though, yeah, it was a lot of growing up. But when you truly want something, you got to put in the effort for it. And if you don't put in the effort for it, you're not going to see the results that you want to see. And we both gave way to each other, so we both compromised on that. You know, we both kind of gave in to one another. And if there were things that I were doing that were bothering her, I worked on them, and vice versa. You know, if there was things that she was doing that was bothering me, she really took the time and consideration to fix those things.
Right. So I think that was a really, really good thing to add to the recap. And then the last thing that I put as far as my 2022 recap is that I closed my photography business. And I guess I should add that I also started my coaching business back up. So I have been a photographer for 8-9+ years. I've pretty much lost count. And I've always fought with trying to end that relationship. Like, I'll do it. Like, I started with family photography. Then I went into, like, being a second photographer for weddings. And then for the majority, I was doing brand photography. And I tried to shut it down one time, like, years ago. And I kept having clients come back wanted me to do their pictures, so I would do their pictures behind the scenes, and then they would refer me to other people, then I would do theirs. And so finally, I shut it back down. I was like, no, because one thing that I have learned is when you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to something else. And so when you are stretching yourself thin, you really have to choose what to allow on your plate. And I had to eliminate a lot of things that was on my plate. And the photography business was one that got chopped, got put on the chopping block. I added the coaching business back because I love to teach. I love to help other people, and I love teaching about business and like growth and all the other stuff. So that's my 2022 recap. Like you said, 2022 was not the best year, but it was a really good year when you think about certain milestones that we hit.
All right, so the top 3 goals for 2023, and I'm really excited about this because I'm already working on them. Now, my first one is going to be public speaking, and whenever I said something earlier about growth, I meant that. I meant growth within the community. Now, I have a public speaking event. Can I show them?
I wouldn't show them that because it has an address on it, but I would definitely show them that. that, your cards.
Oh, yeah.
If you show them the flyer, I would show them and cover up the address.
Oh. So anyhow, this right here is my card, and I'm doing
He got business cards.
Yeah, I got business
y'all.
cards. Yeah. And, I'm so excited. And it's really cool, too, because I got a public speaking engagement coming up.
His very first one.
Yep. And it's going to be for Celebrate Recovery for people that have addiction problems. So I'm extremely excited because everything that I've been through in my life, I'm getting an opportunity to use that to help out other people, which is extremely huge for me. Also, I've been growing my TikTok, and I've been, the card that you just saw, actually, if you scan it, goes to my podcast. And so, yeah, there's a lot to it.
Shameless plug. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
You love it?
Oh, yeah, I'm so excited.
So behind the scenes, while we have not been on the platform like that, Michael is in the process of launching his podcast.
Yeah.
And so we're still in the process of getting him listed on all the different platforms or whatever, but he'll do an official launch once everything is ready. But so he has his first speaking engagement, y'all. He has a podcast that he's already recording episodes for, everything.
Yep.
And so I'm really, really proud of him because he is really making moves behind the scenes. Like, he really is.
Absolutely.
And I'm super, super proud of him.
Yeah, that's what I do.
You silly. So that was what?
That was one.
That was one? Okay, so my first goal for 2023, and even, because I'm going to just go off of what I wrote down, but even with this, I tried to simplify my goals that I had already wrote down and create it as like goals for the whole year, I guess. So as far as my business, I want to work on in 2023 creating a business that I love. I want to create a business doing what I love, I guess. So I realized that I will step into something because it's working, even though it doesn't really fulfill me, or really, just like photography. Like, I will step into it because people are asking me to do it, or because it makes good money or whatever. And I am really at a place where I want to create a life that is fulfilling for me, that is impactful for others by doing what I love as well. So like I mentioned before, I love to teach. I love community. So one of the things that I'm working on is building a women's community for our women entrepreneurs. I still haven't got everything together with that, but I want to create like a social club or mastermind. And then also with my coaching, I'm really about to go in with YouTube on my main channel. So if you guys are not following me on my main channel or are not aware, Lashawnda Smith, it should be tagged somewhere on our page. But I really want to learn to teach on YouTube and really allow the opportunities that YouTube creates for people to be created for me. Because that's why me and Michael both have a YouTube channel now, because there are speaking engagements that you get the opportunity to be a part of when you have a YouTube channel. You get sponsorships, you can do affiliate links, and just, there's so many opportunities that come with the platform of YouTube. And so me learning how to teach people and eventually, leading a community or doing speaking engagements like what you're doing already, that's what my goal is. That's what I would love in business. So that's my first goal, to create a business doing what I love.
I love it.
You love it and stuff?
Oh yeah, it brings tears to my eyes. So, it's amazing because we went to church today, and it kind of changed. Yeah, it kind of changed my list a little bit.
Did it? See, I changed my list.
Did,
I wanted to.
My number 2 changed.
What was it? Do you remember what it was before?
No, I don't remember what it was before, but I know it wasn't this. But after today, I was like, oh, it needs to be this. All right, so my number 2 is my family needs to be my priority. And yeah, so
I want to hear this one.
So what I mean by that is, like we had discussed earlier, that the last position that I was at, I was working 7-8 days a week, and I was denying my family, my son, I was denying everybody my time. And as you guys know, the most important currency nowadays is time. It's not money. And you can't get your time back. So in order for me to grow, my family must grow. And this is something that I come to realize today as I was at church. I have to make sure that everything is good on the home front before I can go out and do good into the world. And that means making sure everybody's glass is full. My son, my family, my fiance, my stepchildren, everybody's glass needs to be full. If there's things that need to be said, there's things that, somebody feels a certain type of way, somebody's hurt, it needs to be addressed. Because one of the things I realized today, that, and it's one of the core issues as to why I became an alcoholic when I was older, was the fact that whenever I was younger, I didn't get to express myself. I didn't get to say how I felt. I came from a family that said the adults are talking, you need to shut up, blah, 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 blah. And, when you're a child, you don't really think nothing of it. You just shut up, you get irritated about it, you go about your business. But as you get older, you start to realize that actually becomes a problem. And I've realized and addressed that now in my life that, my core issues, and that's one of my core issues. So one of the things that touched me today whenever I went to church was the fact that I need to make sure my family's good, because it's my family that supports me in what I do. So if I support them, then ultimately I get to grow more than what I'm currently aiming to do. So.
Oh, that was the whole word that you just said. I will add, because he brought up he was denying like his family or denying time, or I don't remember how you worded it, but I also got to iterate that even though it may have felt like that, I supported it because I understood why he was doing what he was doing. He was in a leadership role. He was making sure that we could be provided for, that we could have what we needed, or if times got tight, got to pick up a shift or something, so I don't know. I feel like it was just a season that we were in at that time. It was right around Christmas time and end of the year.
But it was a wonderful blessing. Because of that job, I was able to meet the people that I met to give me the opportunity to do my public speaking engagement.
Exactly. Yeah. So I definitely felt like the season was needed.
Right.
So yeah.
Right, and I definitely believe, especially in seasons, I believe that people, places, and things happen for a season to allow you to move to what it is that you're called to do.
Right.
And that job specifically gave me the opportunity to meet those people to start my journey. So.
Right. Okay, so my next one is do better. My goal for 2023 is to do better with celebrating me and celebrating the holidays. So this one, I feel that I have always dealt with, because when I was growing up, celebrating stuff was never really a big deal. Like, granted, like when I was a kid, like we used to have Christmas, and I feel like I've had like maybe one kid's birthday party that I remember. I could be wrong, but I remember I had one kid's birthday party when I was 8 years old. That's the only time I remember. And I just got used to not being celebrated. I just got used to, it not being a big deal, holidays not being a big deal. And so I grew up kind of with that mindset, that mind frame. And, I have 2 kids as well. And so for me, I'm learning to celebrate myself, because I don't pat myself on the back for accomplishments that I make. I just move on to the next thing. And I struggle with that. Like, even when he celebrated my birthday and surprised me with stuff last year, he'll tell you I really struggle with that. Like, I really, really struggle with that. So going into 2023, I want to really learn how to celebrate me, like how to prepare, not wait till the last minute and then not come up with anything and choose not to do anything, but really just learn to celebrate me, celebrate my kids, because I have to also remember that I'm setting the tone for them. Because if I'm not used to celebrating myself, how do you think I'm celebrating others? It's just, it rubs off in that area as well. So just recreating new traditions. And then when it comes to holidays like Christmas, I struggle with Christmas every year. Like, it's this thing that I deal with internally that I'm trying to learn. Thankfully with Michael, he's very in the Christmas spirit at Christmas time. And so he has kind of started to teach me, what that looks like. I
get that from my parents.
Yeah. Sure. So that's my second goal.
Okay. So your second goal actually ties into my third goal. And
Really?
my third goal was self-development. And as she said, being able to celebrate herself, how can she celebrate other people? Well, I think that actually goes into a whole bunch of different things. And for me, it's self-love. Now, I have, of course, quite a few goals as far as like weight loss and stuff like that. And I have stumbled across, repeating the same patterns. Well, one of the things that was spoken of today in church was about those repeated patterns in the circles and stuff like that.
Being in the
loop. And I realized that called me out. That told me right then and there, I still got some growth. I still have some things I need to figure out within myself as to why I keep doing that.
Yeah.
And one of the things I realized was I've got to get to a place where I love myself. And I mean love myself. Because I do stretch myself thin just as she does as well. And I don't ever put me first, ever. So my goal for this year also is as soon as I wake up, I want to make time for God. I want to make time for myself. Those are the very first two things I need to do before I start my day, because I believe if I start my day that way, it's going to be a lot more fulfilling to spend the rest of my day. And that's what I want to work on, as far as myself. I want to find out what the characteristical issues is that I still currently fight and face and address those this year. I want to figure what those are so I can work on them.
Nice.
Yep. True story.
I like that. Okay, so I'm actually excited about my third one. So my third goal for 2023, I want to say as of today, has been completed, actually. And it's crazy because we just recorded this. The first one, when did we record the first video?
I don't even know. It was
like a couple days ago.
3 days ago?
Like 3 days ago. But as of today, I have wrote down before that my third goal was to restore my faith and relationship with God. And I went on this whole spiel about my journey and why I am where I am, and the hurdles and the rockiness of my relationship. But after going to church today and doing the things that we have done within the past 2 days, actually, yeah, I can officially say that I feel that I have restored my faith and my relationship with God. And that is such a powerful accomplishment for me, because in the past, I was so angry with God. I was so confused and had doubts, and essentially like I had began to have the faith of a mustard seed, and I didn't feel comfortable feeling like that, but that was my reality for like three or 4 years, however long it was some years.
Yeah, it took some work. I had to get on her.
It did, and yes, he really did help me get back on track with even entertaining the possibility, because Michael is very spiritual. Michael is very God-driven, and he's constantly talking about God. He's constantly talking about how God has impacted him and brought him through things. And so being a rebel at the time, I couldn't help but listen and see through him how he would pray when certain things were going on. And within 24 hours or like fast, God would show up for him. And I'm just like, okay, I need to work on my relationship with God, because go ahead.
No, like you were saying, my faith is really big because God pulled me out of alcohol. I've been sober now for 3 years. I haven't even had a desire or want to even touch it. Like I'm moving forward, and it's because of God. So when I saw the way God worked in my life, and I found out that she used to be extremely faithful, then I knew for me that I had some work to do to get her back on that. And it took some time, but it was completely worth it though. Yeah. So, yep.
Yeah, and I'll tell you a little bit about today. So like we had something happen yesterday, which we won't go into detail about right now. One day y'all might find out, but essentially we were spiritually attacked by the enemy. Yeah. Something happened in the flesh, like something literally happened to us, but we knew instantly that it was a spiritual attack against us, because we are doing some really, really big things behind the scenes. You're getting connected with some really, really good people in the church. Like it was inevitable. Like we knew something was going to happen eventually with where we're going, and it really shook us. It shook us. We had plans to record yesterday. We had like a lot of stuff we were going to work on, and it happened early in the morning.
Yeah.
And it shook our whole day. So we ended yesterday with, well, before when we were going through, we gave ourselves a moment and we both prayed together. Michael is the first person I've ever been able to pray with and feel comfortable praying with as a spouse. We prayed together. We said what we needed to say to God. We gave our request, and we was like, okay, we got to move on. And we went ahead and started listening to some sermons. We listened to T.D. Jakes. I just recently put him on T.D. Jakes, and he got us together real quick. We listened to Pastor Stephen with Elevation for a little bit, and this morning, Michael wakes up, and I had all my little books together. I had my Bible. I had a couple of spiritual books, and all my little stuff together. I had my whole morning planned. And he came in the living room. He was like, I'm going to church today. It's Sunday, by the way. And I'm like, okay. So I had no intentions on going to church today. No intentions. I told him, I was like, okay, well, you go ahead. I'm going to do my thing, okay, in the house. And, let me know how it goes. And he was like, I really think we should go to church together. And I'm like, really? And so I couldn't help, like, if someone directly asked me to go to church, especially Michael, I gotta go. Like, I can't. So I got the kids. We got the kids together. We went to church. We went to Elevation, Concord location, actually, for the very first time. I'm from the university campus. All my Elevation people, if you go to Elevation, put in comments. But university was my church home, but I hadn't been to church in so long because of what I told you. And we went to Elevation Concord, and instantly God welcomed us. Like, instantly. And even when we went to the university one, like a couple years ago, he did the same thing there too. Like, he knew what we were going through, and he spoke through Pastor Stephen to us directly to our situation. And that's exactly what he did today. And I'm bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, okay, God.
She's an emotional little thing. I am.
I'm like, okay, God. I see that you see us here. Like, we knew. So, after all of everything that has happened in the last 2 days, I can say that I have restored my faith.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Did you have another one? Because I got one more.
You got another one?
Yeah. Remember I put another one down afterwards?
I don't think I have another one.
You don't have another one? Okay, so I know I'll be talking a lot, but y'all just stick with me, okay? Y'all gonna be happy about this one. So this is kind of like a goal collectively for us. So we get this question all the time. When are you guys getting married? When are you setting a date? Da, 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 da. So our goal for this year is to set a wedding date, okay? Because like we said, 2022, which is not the year for us to be setting on dates. Like we were surviving, like for lack of better words. And I feel that we both have really big things that's going to happen for us this year. Right. And I feel that we will be in a much better place to actually set a date.
Right.
It's this year now. Set a date this year. So you guys will be getting a wedding date coming soon.
Okay.
You talking about okay. It's our goal. This ain't my goal. Now.
Oh, my bad.
You a whole fool.
No, honestly though, I definitely want you guys to put in the chat any ideas that you have for videos that you want us to come up with. I also want y'all to put in the chat what y'all thought about this video today, because there's a lot of things moving in our life, and we're extremely excited. I've got a fire in me right now that I haven't had in a very long time. So yes. I'm completely amped up and ready for this coming year.
Type your word of the year in the comments. If you have a word, I normally love to come up with a word for that year that you're believing God for, that you want to happen or you want to work on. Type that in the comments. What is your word for 2023?
True.
All right, well, that's all we have for you guys today. Absolutely. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. If you have watched it to the end, you guys are the true MVPs, and we really, really appreciate your support. We hopefully will be recording another video today. so that we will have at least 2 videos coming out for you guys. But until next time, we will see you guys in another video. Bye.